So this is back from September 20th, so this was your first session for the balloon pulmonary angioplasty. And so you see the catheter actually for yesterday's session sort of ended up in the same spots. This is your the lower part of your right lung, your spine. You can see the curve is right here. You can see the catheter coming up through the heart, and then it's injecting the contrast. And this is that posterior basal vessel, so it's the back, sort of lower part of that right lung. And there's clot based on how irregular it's filling all throughout this thing. We've already worked on this, sort of ballooning it. This is sort of you see there's a bigger branch here and then a bigger branch here. And so if we just go to today's view, or yesterday's view, sorry. I don't know if you guys can appreciate it. It's always easier to see what normal is, but so certainly in this vessel, the contrast filling is much more uniform. In this branch, I don't know if you can appreciate how much bigger, without the catheter being even directly engaged in it, how much bigger this is filling, and this is filling as well. And so we basically first started working down this branch. This is a separate little branch of that vessel, and there's a balloon down in the bigger branch and all the way down that one. We then sort of turned our attention to this branch here, and even though there's this band or what looks like webbing or narrowing there, there wasn't that much of a gradient when we measured it on pressure. So you see that's another shot of that with you taking a deep breath, and that little dot there is where we're actually measuring the pressure, and we're trying to see if there's a pressure gradient across that area. So there really wasn't a huge pressure gradient, but we figured this is probably the last time we're going to try to treat that vessel, so we went up with a balloon in that area anyways, and that's the image afterwards. So it doesn't, to me, angiographically, it doesn't look a whole lot different, and we probably wouldn't have sized up any more than that. What's the wire for?
That looks like blood flow.
There was a big gradient in the upper one, so there was much more of a gradient there, and there's a balloon there. And you can sort of see that there was a flap almost across this. There's sort of this linear opacity that runs across that vessel, and that's gotten better. There's that pressure catheter again, looking, and there was still a gradient, so that's a bigger balloon. And again, after we did that, the vessel looked better, and the gradient improved. So here we are. This is your middle lobe. So these are segments that we hadn't treated before. So we're rotated a little bit. This is more towards the front of you, and this is more towards the back of you. And there's two branches of the middle lobe that we treated. And you see how both of these vessels sort of end, and they should really extend fairly far out. So we're now shifted. We're sort of looking straight at you, and this is the more medial branch of your middle lobe there. So the wire's almost coming straight at us, if you can appreciate that. And so here we are. So we're back to that more lateral view. So if we compare this one compare this one to this one.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Right, and then here the wire's through, so you're already getting you're picking up flow out there and flow out here as we sort of balloon it. That's through the more lateral branch, and here we are. We're back on lateral view. So you see, suddenly now you're getting vessels filling all the way, and we basically used to stop with both branches right at this level. So we're filling all the way distally, and that's exactly where I told you that middle lobe should go, to fill in that chunk of lung right there. Here's another shot as we're in a different branch. So if you compare this shot with the first one, so that's basically the vessels sort of stop here. Now we've got vessels that are filling all the way out here. They don't look perfect yet.
No, but in time.
Exactly. So that's the hope, is
like
that in
weeks,
time,
like it could still...
exactly. And your pressures, are still, not low. Your mean pulmonary pressure was right around 40. Your cardiac output is better than it was beforehand. So we don't want to get too aggressive with the ballooning, because that's how we end up sort of encountering complications. So we want to leave this and let it remodel. And you are somebody that, even in the cath lab, Dr. Mahmood was talking about the idea of, maybe we like to get everything done in 6 procedures, but maybe for somebody like you, maybe we need to do a 7th and an 8th. And certainly that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility in what's been done elsewhere around the world. So that's where, so that was the middle
But
lobe.
when you say the pressure was 40, because Tao was in earlier, and she said my pressure was at 68.
Yeah, exactly. So the mean was right around 40. The systolic number was right around 68, 70.
See, I don't get the whole mean stuff.
Mean is like, so basically it takes the
It's an
average.
average.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So if you, the easiest way to think about it is it's averaging the, because it's a pulsatile pressure. So the heart pumps, the pressure goes up, and then it falls down, and then the heart pumps again. That's why when your blood pressure, you get 2 numbers. It actually takes, you don't spend an equal amount of time at the high and the low, so the computer takes that time into account, but if you just think about it as a simple mean, that's
Okay.
so an average of those 2
But
numbers.
the systolic is the more important of the 2.
They're both important. The mean is important. That's what we use for the diagnosis.
And the to 25,
25 is the mean cutoff. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
so I'm at 40.
You're at 40, and you started
That's
off.
good.
Exactly.
I was 80s, 90s.
But that was the top number.
Oh.
So you've
okay.
come down somewhat, and your cardiac output has increased also. So sometimes we're seeing, both of those effects.
Okay.
This is another vessel that we hadn't treated beforehand. It's this high branch in the back part of the lower lobe of the lung, and again, sort of the wire is going down there. And there's the small balloon. And this is a more lateralized view of that same vessel, so you're seeing this. Pharmacy.